I want to answer some questions based on this graph, with the real idea being these being skills that we're going to use later on in the next few sections. So I have a graph here, so we could imagine that someone came in and drew a graph based on some set of information, be it from an equation or something else, and we're asked to find the y-coordinate when the x-coordinate is 5. So we need to find where x is equal to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I see a point on the graph at x equals 5 right here. So that's the point 5, comma, and let's say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 5, comma 6. Make sure I counted that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so when the x-coordinate is 5, the y-coordinate is 6. In the second question, we kind of get the question turned around. What are the x-coordinates when the y-coordinate is 3? Well, the y-coordinate being 3, 1, 2, 3, means I'm looking for points that would be at that height. And so, just thinking about it, I see a point here, points there and there, and there, right? And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 places where I think that when the y-coordinate is 3, I'd have a point on the graph. So that point has a y-coordinate of 3 because it's 3 units above the x-axis. This one, and that last one over there on the far right-hand side. Oop, don't know that. Just leaving a blank for now. All right, so I need to figure out x values to go in those spots. So this point's pretty easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's at minus 7. So one of my answers looks like it's going to be minus 7. Let's do the other easy one over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, positive 7. Now these two I'm not going to have such an easy time with, and maybe we could work out some information about these two parts of the graph later on, but let's just estimate for right now. Now I was actually trying to draw a graph that was fairly symmetrical, but that would be a minus 1 and that would be positive 1. So this x value looks like it's a little bit more than positive 1. This one looks like it's a little bit less than minus 1. So let's say, I'm going to say 1.3 and minus 1.3, and y'all might disagree with how I chose to approximate those, and that's fine. The big takeaway here is that we're just approximating some x value here between minus 2 and minus 1, and here between 1 and 2 based on the graph we've seen. So I get 4 x values there. And then finally, same graph, just 2 more questions about it. I'm asked to describe all the x-coordinates for all the points on this graph. And then I'm asked to describe the y-coordinates of all of the points on the graph. Well, I'm thinking about these x-coordinates. I need to describe all of them in some way. And I'm thinking that the most important thing, or at least the thing I can definitely tell you, is that they are all between minus 7 and 7. In words, we could say all of the x's, or all the x-coordinates, are between 7 and minus 7. All right, describe all of the y-coordinates for the points on this graph. Well, I think you can figure out what I'm going to say here, and why don't you pause the video and see if you can describe these points in the same way I did there. All right, well, looking at the graph, all of my y-coordinates seem to be between positive 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So between 2 and 6. And I'm going to write my answer over here. All the y's, or the y-coordinates, are between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not 7. All right, and there we have gotten some information from that graph all about the x's and the y's.